7 से कैंसिल हो जाएगा। पहले तो 2 से कैंसिल करोगे तो ऊपर आएगा 517, आधा कर दिया तो 11। 11 की टेबल कितनी बार पढ़ सकते हैं 51 तक? 4 बार। 44 कट जाएगा, 7 बचेगा, 7 7 77, 7 बार। तो अंडर रूट ऑफ x इज इक्वल टू 47। देन यू नीड टू फाइंड द वैल्यू ऑफ x ओनली। सो अगर स्क्वायर रूट दूसरी तरफ जाता है तो क्या बन जाता है? स्क्वायर बन जाता है। स्क्वायर दूसरी तरफ भेजते हैं तो स्क्वायर रूट बनता है, स्क्वायर रूट दूसरी तरफ जाता है स्क्वायर बनता है। नाउ यू नीड द स्क्वायर ऑफ 47। सो 47 का स्क्वायर कैसे निकालेंगे? अभी देखा है 47 के लिए तो है ही आसान नंबर खुद 50। 3 स्टेप्स आगे जाना पड़ता है, 3 स्टेप्स पीछे जाएंगे। 44 को 50 से इंटू करना है, मतलब आधा करना है, एंड देन पुट 2 zeros and then 3 into 3 is 9, so the answer is 2209। तो तुमसे डर के भाग रहा है, तुम उससे डर रहे हो, सही है। नेक्स्ट 6th one। They're asking you the square root of, first of all, read the question very carefully. You have to find the square root of, so first put a square root, because they haven't put it, they have written it. Clear? 272 squared minus 128 squared. So the formula will be applied first of all. Inside the square root, a square minus b square, which is a minus b, a plus b. So it's 272 minus 128 into 272 प्लस 128। याद है ना ए स्क्वायर माइनस बी स्क्वायर का फॉर्मूला, ए माइनस बी ए प्लस बी। तो ये ए है, ए स्क्वायर माइनस बी स्क्वायर, ए माइनस बी ए प्लस बी, स्टार्टिंग में भी लिखवाया था फॉर्मूला। नाउ द वैल्यू ऑफ दिस ब्रैकेट विल बी 144 and the value of this bracket is 400. Now you can separately find the square root of 144 and 400. So the square root of 144 is 12. The square root of 400 is 20. So your answer is 12 into 20, which is 240. मुझे क्वेश्चन को फिर से देखो, उसमें देख के लग रहा है कि 272 का भी स्क्वायर निकालना पड़ेगा, 128 का भी स्क्वायर निकालना पड़ेगा, लेकिन नहीं निकालना है क्योंकि एक फॉर्मूला होता है, उस फॉर्मूले से उसको सॉल्व करना है, तो टाइम नहीं लगाना है। 272 और 128 का स्क्वायर निकालोगे बहुत टाइम खराब हो जाएगा। Seventh one. Now for 7th one, you have under root of 81 squared whole squared is equal to the square of which number? So first we'll write this root 81 as 81 to the power 1 by 2. Under root of a means a to the power 1 by 2. So we have root on 81 only. So we have taken it as 81 to the power 1 by 2. Then we have square of it. And then we have a whole square also. Here we have two squares clearly. Root 81 is written as this. Nothing extra has been done. Is equal to the square of this number. Now, if you look very carefully, you can cancel the two squares, outer squares. So now you will directly get the answer for this question. Next, so we don't need to think about the big bracket now. Now 81 to the power 1 by 2 to the power 2, which means a to the power m whole to the power n, which was m into n. We can multiply the two powers here. So when you multiply the two powers on 81, we'll get 81 to the power 1 by 2 into 2 is equal to the question mark, the unknown number. And 2 and 1 by 2 cancels down, which means we have 81 to the power 1 is equal to the question mark, and power 1 is not needed. So the required number is 81. It is not there in the option. So the answer will be none of these. सिंपल भाषा में करना है तो क्वेश्चन को फिर से देखो. स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 81 का स्क्वायर किया है, तो ऐसे में क्या होता है, स्क्वायर रूट एंड द स्क्वायर कैंसल्स ईच अदर. So directly the question would have become 81 square is equal to question mark square. Question mark will be equal to 81. Done, Sario? No. Now, no need to do this much for solving this question. Understand the concept first. If you have root 5 and then whole square, this is directly equal to 5. Here, because root 5 whole square means what? Root 5 into root 5. This is how we find the square of a number. The square of any number is multiply that number 2 times. So this will be, and this is directly equal to 5. Which means what? If you have a square on above square root, a square above square root, they both cancel each other. Directly you will get 5. Similarly, if you have a root above a square, first we wrote 5 square, then we place the root. So if you have a square root above a square, then also the answer is 5. Because if you solve this, you will get under root of 25, and under root of 25 is 5. Which means in both the cases, square and square root cancels each other. Doesn't matter square root is above or square is above. Clear? So in this question, we have a square root raised to the power 2 squared, which means this square root and this 2 will cancel each other. Clear? This square root and this 2 will cancel out each other, which means we will directly have 81 square, nothing else, is equal to unknown number squared. So they say unknown number must be 81. If the square of 81 is equal to the square of an unknown number, which means that unknown number is 81 itself. So this is how you should have solved this question. Next we have an interesting question. How many 2-digit numbers satisfy this property? The property is the last digit or the unit digit of the square of that 2-digit number is 8. You have to think about 2-digit numbers only, which means you can think of any number from 10 to 99. First thing is you need to think of a 2-digit number. Then you need to think of a 2-digit number whose square ends at 8. So the thing is, there is no number in the world whose square ends at 8. Yeah, we have already seen. If the number is ending at 1, the square will also end at 1. Clear? Like we have 11 square. This is also 1 to 1. So since the number ends at 1, square also ends at 1. A number ends at 2, square ends at 4. Doesn't matter what the number is. So we are seeing that the last digit can be 1 or 4 for a square. The square of a number can have 1, 4. 3 square is 9. Any number ending at 3 has 9 on the unit digit. If the number ends at 3, the square always ends at 9. 4 square is 16. Any number ending at 4, its square will always end at 6, only the last digit. 5 square, 25. Any number ending at 5 has 25 in the last, so 5. You need to take care of 5 only. Any number ending at 5 has, its square has 5 as the unit digit. 6 squared is 36. Any number ending at 6 has 6 in its square in the last place. 7 squared is any number ending at 7, its square always ends at 9 only. 8 square is 64. Any number ending at 8 has 4 in its square in the last place. Number ends at 9, its square ends at 1. And if the number ends at 0, its square also ends at 0. So the thing is, the square of a number will never have 2, 3, 7, and 8. Not only 8. Now the square of a number can have 1, 4, 9, 6, 5, 6, 9, 4, 1, 0. 0 is there, 1 is there, 2 is not there. The square of any number will never end at 2. Similarly, will not end at 3 also. Then 4 can be there. 4 is there for two numbers. 5 is also there. 6 is also there. Then we have 7 and 8. They both are not here. तो क्वेश्चन अभी और भी पूछा जा सकता था कि 3 कब आएगा, कभी नहीं आएगा. किसी नंबर के स्क्वायर में लास्ट में 3. You can't find it. 2, you can't find it. 7 and 8. 4 numbers are there which can never appear at the unit digit of any square. So they were talking about 8. The answer is none of these. There is no such number whose square ends at 8. Doesn't matter that number is 1 digit or 2 digit. Then they are asking you root 2 plus 1 by root 2 whole square. So you have to apply the formula of a plus b whole square. Simple question is there. A plus b whole squared. What is it? A plus b का whole square. Question देखो पहले अगला वाला. So they are asking you root 2 plus 1 by root 2 whole squared. A plus b. This is a. This whole number is b. 1 by root 2 will be taken as b. So what is the square of a plus b? It is a square, which means root 2 square plus 2ab. 2 into root 2 into 1 by root 2. 2ab plus the b square. So 1 by root 2 whole squared. Recently I have told you root and square cancels each other. So this number will become 2 only. Then we have 2 into root 2 into 1 upon root 2. Root 2 and 1 upon root 2 cancelled. Multiplication में लिखें. So what is 2 into 1? It's again 2. And then 1 by root 2. So if you are having a upon b and its power is m, it can be written as a to the power m, b to the power m. So 1 square is 1 only. Root 2 square is 2. So what's the answer? 4 and a half. 4 1 by 2. Next one. Now for solving next one, you need to deal with decimals first. So understand the concept. What's the square of 0.5? Let's take 0.5 first. What is the square of 0.5? It's 0.25. What is the square of 0.7? What is the square of 0.1? The square of a number can never be same. So 0.1 square will not be 0.1. It will be 0.01. The important thing is, if your number has one decimal place, its square will have two decimal places. Decimal places gets doubled when you square the number. So if I'm asking 0.05 square now, what will be the answer? What you have to do is look at the number without decimal. The number is 5 only. What is the square of 5? 25. But the problem is this number has two decimal places, so its square will have four decimal places. 4. So you need to write 25 in such a way that it has four decimal places, which means this is your answer. Clear? What will be the square of 0.01 directly? 0.0001. Four decimal places must be there. Clear? And similarly, the opposite of it. If you are finding the square root of a number which has two decimal places, its square root will have only 1. When we square, decimal places gets doubled. When we find the square root, the decimal places gets half. So this is what you have to do in next question. They are asking you the square root of 0.16. So what you have to do? First, you have to find the square of this number without decimal. Without decimal, this number is 16. The square root of 16 is 4. How many digits, decimal places here? 2. So its square root will have 1. Half of 2, 1 place, which means you have to answer it as 0.4. When we square a decimal number, the decimal places gets doubled. Clear? When squared, decimal places gets doubled. When we find the square root, the decimal places gets half. The same concept has to be applied in next few questions. This question can also be solved with the help of the previous formula. This is the shortest way to solve such questions. If you're interested in solving through long method, you can also use that one. What they have asked you? The square root of 0.16. So write it down. Before that, remember the formula a upon b whole to the power m can be written as a to the power m as well as b to the power m. The power gets distributed. Clear? So now they were asking you the square root of 0.16. Okay. So what I can do is I can write it as 0.16 to the power half, no problem. And I can also write it as 0.16 to the upon 1 to the power half, no problem. Then when I remove the decimals, I get two zeros. So you need to find the half power of 16 by 100. How can we do that? If you have two numbers or a fraction raised to some power, you can give the power to both the numbers, numerator as well as denominator. Here we have 16 by 100 to the power 1 by 2. So this 1 by 2 power will be given to both the numbers separately. So we'll have 16 to the power 1 by 2 and 100 to the power 1 by 2. And 1 by 2 means square root. So what is the square root of 16? 4. The square root of 100? 10. 4 by 10 is? Next one. Before solving next one, you need to solve this question. What is 0.007 into 0.8? What's the answer for this question? 0.007 multiplied by 0.8. Find it out. What's the answer? 0.0056. When you multiply decimal numbers, the total number of decimal places are exactly the same as they are in the question. So total we have 3 and 1, 4 decimal places. So the answer for this question will have 4 decimal places. Now solve this question without decimals. 7 8s are 56, but you need to write this answer with 4 decimal places. So it will be 0.0056. So next one, 11th, 1.5 squared and the square root of 0.000225. 0.0225. You need to find the square root of this number. So one square root, both has to be found. So 1.5 squared and the square root of 0.0025. 0225. Okay. So what is the square of 15? 225. But this number has 1 decimal place. So we need to write the number in 2 decimal places. So 225 will be written as 2.25. Then multiplied by similar 225. So the square root of 225 is 15. But it will have 2 decimal places. So we don't need to write 15. We need to write 0.15. Without decimal, the square root of this number is 15, but with decimal, it will have 2 places of decimal. So 0.15. Now 225 into 15. So if you look at it very carefully, leave the decimals now. Whatever the answer is, you need to have it in 4 decimal places. This is the thing. First of all, it is 15 square. If we remove the decimal, and this is 15 itself, which means you need to find the cube of 15. 15 square into 15 is cube of 15. So what is cube of 15? It's 3375, although it has been given mentioned in not all the options. So it's 3375, the cube of 15. So the next thing is you have to memorize all the cubes up to 15 at least. Squares 25 तक याद होने चाहिए, cubes 15 तक कम से कम. So the answer will be 3375 with 4 decimal places.